What's going on, guys? Got a sweet day today. Unlike yesterday, I got kicked out of the whole day of trading yesterday by hitting my max loss and then going over. What was I down like 333, I think. Just super happy that I cut it where I did because it makes it easier to make it up on preceding or succeeding days, right? So if I had just kept trading and I was down $1,000, a day like today where I'm up over $400 wouldn't have been as sweet because I still wouldn't have even made up that loss. I would have broken my max loss rule. I would have given up more profit than I did. So just super happy about today. I also traded really well. I made some mistakes, and then I compensated for those mistakes, so, let's get into it. But first, please, guys, smash that subscribe button. If you look here, and I'll show you why. If you look here, it says, of all of my watch time, well, in the past 28 days, let's say the lifetime of the channel, but what makes more sense is the last 28 days. 43.5% of you guys that watch are not subscribed, and I would really appreciate it if you guys smash that subscribe button. We're trying to get this up. It's getting up there. Pretty quick, but almost half of you guys aren't even subs, so just click it right now, please. For me, just click it, and then we'll get on with the video. The revenue's going up. It's pretty sweet. I've had a really good couple weeks. Well, a really good month with trading, and just overall, like with everything else, like this YouTube thing's picking up, starting to make some money. I'm really starting to see progress in my trading. I'm cutting losers before they get out of hand with something like Netflix. So I fat fingered the puts here. I accidentally clicked 5, and I'm not going to release that because it's going to buy them right now. I clicked it. And I didn't mean to click 5, I meant to click 2 because they were over $3. So right there, I already am taking like a $1,600 options position. And the spreads were like 360 by 340. So that's almost 10%. And 10% of $1,500 is $150. And the risk was way too big for me because right here I was down almost like, or here I was down just past 200, and I was like, fuck. Like, am I really going to get knocked out of the whole day by a fat finger? And then we started to bounce off, and as I came back into profit here, I took a hedge. So instead of taking risk off, because of the spread was like 10-15%, what I did was I hedged by taking calls on the Q. So I took these bad boys, and in retrospect I didn't take as many as I should have. I think I only took 5, and these are less volatile because they're expiring on Friday and they track an index, they don't track a stock, and it doesn't move as much. So I think I should have taken more to properly hedge the Netflix, because let's say I was, so I took 5 instead of 2, right? So I was 2.5 times my risk on that trade, whereas this probably only reduced it by like 0.5 or 1. So I should have taken more than double. So I should have taken maybe 15 of these, but I only took 5. But anyways, as Netflix came, so I'll show you what I did here. Netflix. As Netflix came down under this 342.50 level that I had on the daily, 342.50 is this one. It's a very well respected line for the past like couple months. I thought we were going to confirm under it, which we did on the 1 minute at least, and then as we came back up, I took the put right here, or took the puts right here. This is where it went against me, and then this is where it came back to almost break even, and then once it got bought up at 341.50 with a lot of volume and like a big guy sitting there on the bid, I thought, okay, this is not going to work out. I really need to reduce my risk, and I think I took the hedge 937. Oh, I took the hedge even sooner. I took the hedge in here just in case, because this is eventually what happened, and I would have lost like $800 today if I didn't do that, and if I didn't cut my loss. So on the Netflix puts, again, you can see here, right, like I said, it went against me, and then we almost broke through to the downside, and these would have gone up in price, but instead we came back down. I started selling because this was getting kind of disgusting. I think I sold, what, 3 of them there? 2 of them, and then another 1, and then I sold the last 2 right here. I just took the loss, right, at minus 12%. Excuse me. If I'd have held on, I'd be down 60% on $1,500. That would have been a friggin' yikes. That would have been like a big yikes. But I cut it here for a pretty big loss. And that was that. Now, this is past my max loss, but I was already up, I think, like 300 in another trade, or 200. So this didn't bring me past my max loss. So that is why I kept trading. I didn't break any rules. If this was the first and only trade, because I traded something in here, PDSB, I'll show that trade. And then I was up pretty big, so that's why I didn't take it right there and then just stop, because again, my rule is if I'm down more than $200, stop. So anyways, I took PDSB in the meantime. What a friggin' great trade. Let's see if I can go find this. Netflix. This is where I was just in the Netflix trade. I pretty much already went over that. MES, no, PDSB. PDSB. So the first trade on PDSB was here when it was flagging. Now, I was up pretty big on just 900 shares, and I wasn't taking profit. I was trying to take it right there, actually above the $0.50, but I wasn't taking profit until we got into this area. I was adding down here. I had some really nice ads. It coincided. I didn't mark it out, but there's a level here at, I think it was 825 for these tops, just somewhere in here. I didn't have time to mark it out. I moused over and I looked, and then I went to the chart and said, VWAP's here. It's dipping in there. Boom. I bought on the ask when I saw a good price. So fast forward, blah, blah, blah. You know, see, I'm respecting, like, this is what happens when you get a good entry. You're not really down that much money at one time. So I would have had to stop out, and then that would have been the end of my day for sure. But, you know, and I would have been down $300 again, but that would have been okay. But this trade worked out, and we saw it towards high a day. I eventually got filled here, blah, blah, blah. Get filled there, get filled there. You know, I'm selling at the tops. I'm not selling early. I think it's really crucial once you get a good entry like this, as it's kind of rolling back up, you just wait to sell at high of day or wherever your target is. Now, there wasn't really a target here on the daily other than like $9 and then $10, so I was just selling for the high of day move. So I think that was really good. I took another trade on it right here. Oh no, that's the MES, PDSB. What a beautiful trade. So listen closely, because this at first glance looks like, you know, I'm buying back into the VWAP, the resistance line. Remember how I said don't do that? This was different because the decreasing volume here showed me that this was still kind of independent. Like if this is one giant pole and this was like the pennant or the flag, I truly believe that we were still in it and we were holding this kind of low of right here. We bounced off, and that this level wasn't as important. And I was buying in anticipation, but I reduced my size and I tried to get a really good entry. So that was the difference today, whereas before I was going 1,500 shares like crazy, right? Or 1,000 shares. I went 200 shares, and I started with 100 shares, knowing that if I'm wrong and it breaks under for 30 cents, I would only lose $30 or 60 on 200. So, and if it had worked out, I would have added about $100 or maybe $200 up to high of day with $1 per share or 80 cents per share move. That was the reasoning behind this one. So I wait until I see something good on the ask. 814. I just pressed just buy. So I'm in at 814 for 100 shares. And yes, again, we're under this resistance. People are starting to short in here, most likely. But that was my rationale for this. That if this pops, I'm willing to risk the 20 cents on 100 shares. So 20 bucks. To try and get in this preemptively. Because the probability of these trades are lower, but I accounted for that with risk. And you see I have my stop in. I put my hard stop, and that was that. So I was just waiting, and then we get that spike. We get that spike where I'm like, okay, this is where these shorts right here and maybe these guys right here could start to get trapped. So this is where, sorry, I had to restart the recording. There's a whole bunch of noise outside. This is where I added, because this is where I said, okay, all these shorts are probably going to get trapped. And then this was do or die. This was the kill candle I was talking about. So I put my stop is right here under this candle. I shouldn't have that big of a loss if I get stopped out. So I think you can hear a leaf blower in the background. Sorry about that. This is either going to be the kill candle, where the longs that bought in get screwed, or this is where the shorts are going to get squeezed. And again, my unrealized loss is never anything, like, look at it up there, like $17 I saw, like. So now that I have the entry, I'm just waiting for my target. And I think, you know, $9 resistance, that sounds good to me. $9 is right here on the daily. So I said just under $9, so $8.87 is good enough for me for 100 shares. So I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting. I said this could work. 1 cent and I would have gotten stopped out. 1 cent and I would have gotten stopped out of this trade. So anyways, this thing just goes to the friggin' moon. This is insane. Let's watch that squeeze right here. So right over, no, go back. Over 850, 860, everyone who's short in here will get squeezed. That's just what happens. So we're getting squeezed. Where is it? 850, 860, and it's just like that, squeezed. So now everyone here is underwater, and they're like, oh crap, I might have to cover. If they're short, you know, 5,000 shares. Every 10 cents is 500 bucks. So my order that I already had out got filled. Beautiful. I'm holding on to just 100 shares here. Still holding. I set a stop in because this might be flagging for a move higher. But it doesn't. And then I get stopped out of the long right here. All out. 368 bucks. Beautiful. So great trading today on the MES. I initially had a short on it, and then I covered that short once we didn't break through the lows. I was trying to cover right here. It didn't make it there, so I covered on the way back up. I was just being safe because it's really whippy the first 15 minutes, right? So that was a great trade. I was waiting to see what to do here. Maybe this was a good long. I already had these levels marked out. So I was waiting for this confirmation, and then I started longing it. I think I sold accidentally here. I always do that. And then as we came down to VWAP and towards a whole number on the SPY, I think it was 282 at that point, I bought, and then 282 was getting bought up, so then the contract started moving, and I was selling at high of day. Great trade. Even if I had held a piece, I wouldn't have been in for this. So I think Trump tweeted or something happened about how he's removing tariffs on automakers or something. So the market just straight up. And I was looking for a pullback. And the market pulled back to, let me show you on the SPY, to this level right here, 283. Absolutely beautiful. So I was longing it right here, which is also kind of a level here in pre-market. You can say it was pivoting around this. And it's a whole, like I said, it's a whole dollar or whatever. So it'll usually act as good support. So I thought we were going to come up, come back down, bounce around, and back through high of day. And that's exactly what happened. I got scared, and I sold a little early. I had 5 contracts, I think, only 5 here. And look at this, I sold right here. I sold 2 of them. 2 of them or 3? trades. MES. Sold 2. Okay, I only sold 2. I only sold 2 right here. And then I said, listen, stop selling early. You're holding your target, and that's it. So I held to the target. It came all the way up to high a day right here, and I sold at high a day. That was actually pretty sick. And I'm still holding on to the last one. Oh my god, the guy with the frickin' leaf blower is back. Anyways, where are my orders here? So, right now I have an order to sell the last one if it hits my target of the SPY hitting 285, I believe. Or, if I stop out for, on the lower side, if we get under 283.75, I think. 283, yeah, something like that. So the last one, it actually looks like it's going to take profit soon here. So that'll be cool. Sick trading. I think that was everything. PDSB, Netflix, MES, QQQ. I'm up almost 500 now at this point with this thing. So that is sick. We made up for yesterday's loss. So that is why you have to control your red days, everybody. Because, you know, you can make it up on a good day. And if the loss was like $2,000-$3,000, it's like, okay, well, I have to have amazing days like this for the next week or two just to make up the loss of one day. And then if I have another one of those losses, oh, sick. Look at that. Order filled. All right, so I'm all out of the MES. I should probably cancel that other order. 488 on the day. So that's pretty sick. I got some other stuff to do, so I'm going to head out. It looks like the SPY is just going to keep going all the way up to 285. Holy moly, look at that. So, all out of that. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, comments, leave them down there, and I'll get back to you. And don't forget, smash that like button. Peace!